Mommy, Mommy, is that box of gift for me? Said Nathan as he ran into Blessing. He took the box of gift from Blessing, who was surprisingly shocked at what he called her, and she gave him the gift. Once upon a time, there lived a girl named Blessing. One day, Blessing and her friends went out for a girls' night at a private club where wealthy men frequented. They had saved up almost all their salaries for the month to experience a taste of luxury. Blessing, a simple and decent girl, was convinced by her friends to join them despite her discomfort with the idea. She wasn't used to drinking, and even a little alcohol affected her more than she anticipated. And her friend encouraged her to drink, noting that she was a bush girl if she didn't. And so, moved by peer pressure, she decided to take a sip. Blessing took a sip of this drink and then became drunk. In her drunken state, Blessing ran to the bathroom but accidentally entered the men's room. Then, as she opened the door, a tall, handsome man who was slightly drunk but more composed than she was noticed her. He tried to direct her out of the men's room, but she clung to him, slurring in a very soft voice and saying, "Take me." Misinterpreting her words, the man lifted her up, carried her gently, and took her to his hotel room. His hotel was not far from the bar as they were in the same premises. Before you know it, one thing led to another, and then they slept with each other. When the man woke up and saw Blessing sleeping peacefully, he was intrigued by her. He wondered why someone like her, who seemed innocent, would be in such a situation. He left her a note, an envelope with cash, and a diamond ring that had letter D on it. The letter read, "I know this is your first time, but please do not turn into prostitution. Use this money to start a new life." Blessing woke up to find the notes and the gifts. Confused and disoriented, she didn't understand why she had been given money or why she had been mistaken for a prostitute. Then she went to wash her face in the bathroom, and then as she was washing her face, memories of the previous night came rushing back. Then she remembered she had been drunk and she was carried by a handsome man, and they shared an intimate moment together. Shocked and distressed by the realization, she ran out of the room after packing her things and went straight home. Upon arriving home, her stepsister looked at her suspiciously and asked where she had been. Blessing, too upset to respond, went straight to her room. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, Femi was with his girlfriend, Grace. She revealed that she was pregnant, and Femi was overjoyed that he proposed to her immediately. But Grace asked him to wait until the baby was born, which surprised him greatly. Meanwhile, it had been 3 weeks since Blessing had her one-day fling, and she was feeling unusual. She decided to go see the doctor and then received the shock of her life. She was 3 weeks pregnant, and then she exclaimed, "What? Pregnant? Oh God, what did I do to myself? I was supposed to be a virgin until marriage. Where will I go? How will I tell my father?" She had no one to turn to. Her mother had run away when she was very young, and her father remarried a wicked woman, which is her now stepmother. If her father knew, he would throw her out of the house. But eventually, her wicked stepsister found out and told her father about it. Her father told Blessing to get rid of the child or leave his house. But Blessing chose to leave the house in order to save her unborn child. Now, as she left, she thought, "Where do I find the father of my unborn child? It was a one-night stand and I was drunk, I can't remember his name or his face. God, what should I do? She was all alone. She then went to some of her friends' house to stay with them, but they all deserted her. Eventually, her maternal grandmother took her in. It's now 5 years since she gave birth, and the doctor told her that her baby had died. Every day for those 5 years, she would come and sit under a tree near a school park. On this particular day, Nathan, Femi's son, ran off angrily because his father did not buy him a gift. He ran towards the park saying, "If my mommy was here, she would have gotten me a gift. How could you not get me? Leave me alone." And he ran away. Nathan ran into the park, running into Blessing, who was holding a box of gift for her imaginary child. Nathan then walked straight to Blessing and said, "Mommy, is that for me?" He took the box of gift from Blessing, and she was surprised and shocked at what he called her, but she gave him the gift. Femi, still panting from running after his son, reached Blessing and asked his son to return the box back to Blessing. He quickly apologized to Blessing, but Blessing said, "No, let him have it. I actually bought it for my child, but he's not here today." Femi smiled and looked at this queer and strange young lady. He thought, her child is not here. Where could her child be? Why is she holding a gift for her child that is not here? He continued to think. Femi couldn't shake the feeling of curiosity and concern. "I'm really sorry," he said again, trying to make sense of the situation. Blessing looked at him, her eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and longing. "It's okay," she replied softly. "I don't mind him having the gift. I think he's very excited about the gift." "Do you come here very often?" Femi asked, trying to start up a conversation. Blessing nodded. "Just on this particular day, for the last 4 years, I come here to remember and imagine what it could have been if my son was here." Femi felt a pang of empathy. "That sounds incredibly hard. I can't imagine a world where I will not see my son." Blessing then managed a small sad smile and said, "It's my way of coping. But today, your son reminded me that there's still joy to be found, even in unexpected places." Just then, Nathan came running back, holding the box of gifts very tightly. "Thank you, Mommy," he exclaimed, hugging Blessing. Femi watched, unsure of how to react. Blessing then hugged him back, her eyes brimming with tears. "You're welcome, sweetheart. I'm glad you liked it." Nathan turned to his dad and said, "Why is Mommy sad? Please do something to make her happy." Blessing and Femi were shocked at what Nathan just said, and Femi decided to take a chance. "Blessing, would you like to join us for a drink or something? Can we walk down the road and probably look for where to take a drink and eat something?" Blessing hesitated for a moment and then nodded. "I would like that," she said, standing up and brushing the dirt off the back of her skirt. As they walked towards the nearby store, Femi and Blessing started to talk about their lives. Blessing shared her story on how she had lost her child and how she had been struggling to move on. Femi listened patiently, feeling a deep connection to this woman he had just met, and wondered why. When they got to where they would take a drink and eat some bites, they found a table and then sat down, keeping a keen eye on Nathan, who was happily playing with his new gift. Femi ordered some drink and food for himself and Blessing, and they continued to talk. Then Nathan came running towards them and said, "Mommy, will you marry my dad?" This time, Femi called out, saying, "Nathan, please behave yourself." And Blessing smiled shyly. Femi immediately fell in love with her smile and asked, "Where's the father of your child?" Blessing replied, "I'd rather not talk about it, but he's nowhere to be found in the picture." Femi said, "So that means you are single and free?" Blessing nodded shyly. "You know," Femi said thoughtfully, "sometimes life brings people together for a reason. Maybe meeting you today was one of those moments." Blessing looked at him, her eyes shining with gratitude. Thank you for listening, Femi. It's been a long time since I'd felt disconnected to someone. As they finished their drink, Femi realized he didn't want this to end. Blessing, I don't want to intrude, but would you like to come over for dinner sometime? And may I have your number? Nathan will really love it, and I think he's in love with you. I think it would be nice for us to continue our conversation. Blessing smiled, feeling a warmth she hadn't felt in years. I would like that very much, Femi. Thank you. And they both parted ways.